horrible high 10 in the Look Mum pod. Why are we so sloppy with the high 10s?
Probably because I'm a little unco and I'm
Are
just
you looking
like,
at my eyes or at my hands when we go to do
I
that?
think I'm looking at your hands. I'm sure I'm looking at your hands.
I kind of just glaze over.
I'm just unco in general, so that's fine.
If you pay attention and you're a long time listener or viewer on the YouTube version of the podcast, for some reason, and it's never intentional, the high 10 a lot of the times aligns perfectly with like there's a clap or like a snare or something in the intro music.
Oh,
And,
I've
like,
never noticed.
It lines up like perfectly, so we might see a little spike in the retention going back and looking at
Maybe.
it.
Probably
If
'cause
anyone, if anyone cares, which they probably don't.
No, probably because we had that little bit of an awkward like silence gap between we're like high five and then we're like, all right.
Well, I didn't do the whole spiel of an intro today, and I think I'm beyond that.
You are?
I'm beyond the welcome back. I straight away almost fell back into my old ways. But this is
Interesting.
February now. I have a whole new mentality on life, a new lease on life, perhaps.
Well, it is
You're
your
looking at me blankly like you're very doubtful.
Well, it is your birthday coming up, so you're ticking over a new year. So
I know, if I say it a lot of times, then hopefully a lot of people
we'll believe you.
will care, perhaps.
Maybe.
No one really cares.
Only if you care, that's the main thing.
I'm
If
the
you
only one
care,
that cares.
if you care about what it is that you're doing, then that's fine.
Is it a leap? Is it a leap year this year? Leap month?
It's called a leap year because you don't have a leap month every month. It's only Feb.
Leap year 2024, which is just one less day, right?
No, one more day.
Is it?
Yeah,
Is it normally 28 or 29 days in
it's normally 28 days. So if there's 29, it means it's a leap year.
Sorry, I should have learnt this in year 3.
Yeah,
That was 20
yeah. It's because
last years ago.
when the Earth goes around the sun, it's
All right,
a little
wait,
bit.
let's. I was gonna not listen, but if you're gonna explain it scientifically, I need to pay attention to this.
Well, it's when the Earth goes around the sun. It's a tiny bit longer than a year, right? But it takes like 4 years for it to be like a whole day.
So
that's
they're
why.
just okay. So it probably is a quarter day each year, but we can't work your calendar with a quarter day, so they just
No.
hold off
Yes,
to let it catch up.
for a full day, and then
Leap
that's
day
when.
is on Feb 29. February, our shortest month, typically has 28. Yeah, I should have learnt this 25 years ago.
Yeah, you're the science guy.
Yeah, I'm not an astronomer.
Didn't you did a
I
bit
did.
of like.
I did one session of astronomy. Yes, I've forgotten everything. We've reiterated that at least a dozen times.
So is it a leap year?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. Because it's the people that are born on the 29th. It's they might be 40 years old, but they've only had 10 technical
birthdays. Yeah, but then
birthdays.
their birthday kind of just falls on the 1st of March anyway.
Does it, or is it Feb?
Does leap year line up with the Olympics every year?
Wow, is that how we remember? It must do.
Well, it has to because the Olympics is this year and it's every 4 years.
Well, I suppose, yeah.
Hmm.
Wow, you made an insane connection.
Wow, insane!
Why don't they call it Leap Olympics?
Leap Olympics? Leap Olympics.
That's horrible branding. Scrap that idea.
Yeah,
Well, I
no.
think when's the World Cup on? I think it's on it's
The
like halfway between them. So
FIFA?
it's like two.
So it's every 4 years, but it's in between.
I mean, we did a podcast about it in 20.
Last year.
No, honestly, I don't care. I don't know why I brought it up.
I thought the FIFA Cup was like every year, but
Mm.
we did it. We did the episode last year, so it would have been 2023.
2022. Qatar 2022.
Oh my
Because it
god!
was in December. Remember they changed the months based on, because it was going to be in Qatar and it was going to be if they did it in the normal month, it would have been way too hot of a climate. So they pushed it back.
That's right. So it's a bit colder. Makes sense.
So I wonder what the next one is. I know Australia's always fighting for it, but we did a whole episode, one of our better performing episodes actually, about all the corruption involved with
FIFA.
the bids for different countries to get there and stuff.
A lot of corruption and all those things. Anyway.
Just corruption all around.
Yes. I know I said it like that. Sorry.
2026.
Is the next FIFA? Okay, makes sense. It's in between.
It will be jointly hosted by 16 cities in 3 North American countries: Canada, Mexico, and US.
Oh, that's unusual.
It is unusual. It could be a sign of the times. We're not countries and nations are becoming a little less greedy and trying to share the load.
Unless it's so expensive to bid for it that they all had to pull their money together and be like, yo, let's have it in these 3 separate cities.
Or there's not quite enough interest to fill stadiums in each particular one, because it's pretty big in Mexico, soccer. US, not so much. So maybe they're like, Mexico's not large enough of a population to fill out the stadiums that we'd want. Same as US, same as Canada. So let's kind of split it 3 ways. But I mean, if you're a team or even a fan that wants to go to a lot of games. It's a lot of flight hopping between the nations.
That's very interesting. Well, soccer's not even that big in Canada anyway. The biggest sport, I actually found this out. I thought it was hockey, but lacrosse is apparently the biggest sport in Canada. Yeah.
Well, first of all, you're not really into sports, so what are you doing Googling about Canadian
No,
sports?
because I was watching Theo Vaughn, and he was like a famous like hockey player was on one of his episodes, and it was just talking about like everyone thinks it's hockey, but it's really lacrosse. So yeah, fun fact of the day.
There's gonna be plenty more of those. Well, that can't be true though, because there's
Google
not.
it. I'm putting my 2 cents. Like,
well, you just heard someone. You're just spouting out what someone else has said.
well, he's like one of the most famous hockey
Well,
players.
is lacrosse on ESPN today?
I don't know.
I guarantee there's a hockey game on ESPN today.
Probably, because hockey is also American as well. Like, it's not just like, I'm talking just Canada. What's the biggest sport?
What am I Googling? I'm just going to do Google searches all day.
Yeah, maybe. The biggest sport played
The biggest?
in... The biggest.
The most popular? The most revenue generating? What are we searching here?
Well,
the biggest? I mean...
now I'm doubting myself
would it be
because...
sumo wrestlers?
Because you know how every country has like the national like sport or whatever it is? Like America's like baseball, Australia's like AFL, lacrosse is like for Canada.
Wouldn't it be cricket?
No, because cricket's like international.
Oh, you're saying played almost exclusively in that country?
Or just like invented kind of in that country as well.
Biggest Canadian...
Like rugby's
sport?
UK. Oh no, maybe cricket's UK.
Ice hockey. 10 most popular sports of Canada. So was the guy referencing Google or was he just saying that?
I think he was just saying it, maybe.
Let's pull up 3 articles.
Okay.
And then take the average.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what's the national sport of
Bring it
Canada?
up.
What's the national sport of Canada? Do a side.
National sport of... It's probably the
brush thing on the ice. What's it called?
ice brushing.
Ice brushing.
What is that called? Sweeping or something, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. That's called Minesweeper, but it's not.
Minesweeper. That was a good game. That was one of my favorite games, Minesweeper.
And it's always so devastating when you hit on a mine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Curling, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Sweeping.
Oh, lacrosse is number 2.
Okay, number 1, ice hockey. This is, we're going to take the average of these three websites.
Okay.
1, ice hockey. 2, lacrosse. 3, soccer. So soccer is pretty big there.
Mm-hmm.
then
Toronto
baseball,
Blue Jays.
cricket.
Mm-hmm.
Tennis. Okay, we went too far past 3. This one's saying ice hockey, soccer, basketball, lacrosse, 10.
Number 10.
All right, so straight away.
Okay.
You put your foot down, but it ain't.
No, I'm not coming through with the goods.
Ice hockey, golf, curling.
Curling.
All right, so I win.
What's the national sport of?
But I win, right?
Yeah, I think you win in this one. That's
The
fine.
national.
I'm just reading headlines.
sport
Yeah.
of Canada. I don't think there are national sports. Ice hockey.
Okay. Where did I get the cross from?
Hey, biggest takeaway.
Don't listen to me.
Theo Vaughn's podcast for accurate information.
Well, go Theo Vaughn hockey and you'll be able to see what the hockey player is.
We're over it. We've spent 4 minutes talking about hockey in Canada. First of all, there's no hockey players listening to the show.
That's true.
And there's no Canadians. I've looked at the data.
Yeah, it's not
That's
Canadians.
one demographic we haven't tapped into yet.
The Canadians. Fair enough.
So
maybe because now we've mentioned hockey and lacrosse so many times.
it's going to hit the algo
Yeah,
somehow.
it's going to... the algo.
So, yeah. I'm just
Okay.
going to sit back and
All right.
praise myself.
I thought I was
being
so
correct.
confident on that. You know what? I heard this. Everyone thinks it's this, but it's actually this. Maybe it's just, I don't know. I was wrong.
If there's anything true in this world, it's do not take literal information and statistics away from podcast. This one in particular.
Oh, yeah, don't.
Especially of that side of the table. This one
Yeah.
you can trust a little bit more.
Maybe a little bit more than me. That's fine.
Okay, so we went into sports just out of nowhere.
Yeah,
What
sorry.
have we got on the topics today?
So if you want to like speak on the algorithm, a lot of the social media CEOs are kind of under fire at the moment because of like their algorithm and stuff, and like kids not being protected properly. So they're all like in court. Mark Zuckerberg had to like do a public apology to everybody as well and being like, I'm sorry. But yeah, just because, you know, obviously you're on social media and whatever it is, and there's just like so much stuff that happens that unfortunately like pedophiles and all that kind of thing can like get to kids, and, you know, parents don't know what's going on online. So yeah, now there's a big like hearing about it.
Okay.
So
We
that's
want to
one.
talk about that.
No, I'm just saying
We
that's
don't
one
have-
thing.
Okay.
That's very serious. I know it's very serious for us.
It's almost too serious.
Too serious?
It's a horrible thing, but
Mhm.
do we really have a decent opinion to weigh in on that conversation?
Probably not, because we don't have kids. So it's not like our dog Archie is on the internet
Imagine he's just while we're away, he's just like looking at food recipes.
because he loves food so much. Just drooling, you know, chefs hitting him up.
I always love when there's a TikTok video of a dog and it just has they've just filmed the paws like doing human things.
Yes. It's pretty funny. There's like this. I remember I showed you that video of that that chick that does it for like these two dogs, and they're super super cute. I think it was on Instagram, and dogs were like unwrapping a present or something like that, or trying to steal something. And it's just really well done from like the owner. Good angles and
Look,
all that kind of thing.
personification of any, whether animal or inanimate object, is always
It's gonna
fun.
be funny. It's gonna be funny. Yeah. Okay. So not that one
No,
then.
yeah,
Obviously.
not the. I mean, you've already said the P word once in the first 10 minutes. So
Are we not allowed to?
I mean, you can. Like, you definitely can, but
It's recommended not to.
I mean, I just don't want to talk about it.
No, that's fair. Fair.
Can we
don't
talk
have
about
much.
puppies? I went to puppies, and yeah.
Let's go. Oh, there's. You're probably not gonna like any of my articles then.
What is new? All right, I'm joking. What else? Let's try. I just want to keep this positive. There's so much devastating stuff going on in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's good to bury your head in the sand, and this is the podcast for you.
Yeah, to bury underneath all the sand.
Forget about your woes.
Universal Music is thinking about pulling their music from TikTok, which is
Thinking?
yeah. So like they're in like possibly the process, but it's the whole kind of, again, the fear of like AI generated music and stuff. They want to try and protect their artists, but I'm sure it's about money at the end of the day.
Partnership between Universal Music and TikTok has apparently soured as the music company is set to pull its music catalog from the social media app. The agreement between the two companies set to expire January 31st. Negotiations appear to have come to a standstill. Universal is impassioned, saying they must call time on TikTok.
So TikTok tactics are obvious. Use its platform power to hurt vulnerable artists and try to imitate us into conceding to a bad deal. But the whole thing about like people enjoy TikTok and stuff is obviously the popular songs and...
Okay, so Universal, which is behind a third of the world's music,
Oof.
has said that only 1% of their revenue comes from TikTok, a platform with over 1 billion users. Okay, so if it's only 1%...
They're not fussed if their music is on there or not. It's coming from elsewhere. Yeah. But if they hold the third of the world's music though, and they're only getting 1%, like why that's why it's like, TikTok, we don't need you. Like if you don't want to, look after our artists and stuff, like doesn't matter. And then TikTok loses half of its, well, not half, like a third of its music essentially. And people love like having modern songs. So if you upload a TikTok, you can put like you can just Google a song, or not Google a song, but search for a song and just add it onto your video.
Yeah, I mean, Universal must own all these branches. Warner Music, Island Rivers, Capitol Music, EMI.
That's so many.
So that's why it covers
Virgin as well, yeah.
That's why it covers a third of the total.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have so many.
World's music.
Mm-hmm. Because then you've got like Sony and Warner and stuff. They're probably the other two big ones.
Well, Warner's on that one there.
Oh no, so not Warner then, but yeah, Sony's one of the other big.
So if they're not having all their songs on there, if it generates just a tiny bit of revenue, then I mean, there's two sides to the coin. There's less popular top 10 charting songs available to slap on top of your TikTok, but also it leaves the door open for other artists, small time artists that are trying to get their foot in the door or have just instrumental music and don't want to be celebrities. Or like touring artists, for example, they just want to create music and just make a little bit of revenue on there and have people use their art, basically.
That's true, because like if you have like a banger song, and this happens, like so many smaller artists have gone viral because of TikTok, because people started, I don't know, maybe some account went viral using that song, then everybody wants to use that song. There's like so many artists have become really, really popular because of it, or it's just they have really good branding or really good advertising on there. And I remember reading ages ago that some artists were almost forced to create content on TikTok to promote their music, and they're like, I don't want to do this. I think like Dua Lipa was one, I think, from memory ages ago. I'm pretty sure we talked about this before, about artists like, being forced to like having to promote their music on TikTok even though they didn't really want to.
It would be part of the negotiation contracts when they sign a record label. They won't. I don't think there'd be obviously there's like individual negotiations, but for the most part, it would be you sign with us, you get a 3 record deal, and then we have the authority to license those songs to different platforms. In saying that, like I said, Universal only gets 1% of their revenue from TikTok, but it's also, if they have the biggest names in the music industry, then obviously they're making so much money. Like 1% of that is still a lot of money. So if that 1%'s gone and that's getting distributed to people that are only making $100,000-$200,000 a year because they're just part-time creators or something like that, and that 1%, which is basically nothing to Universal but a lot to people that at a much lower level, then that's kind of a good thing as well, if you can get your songs out there and it gets enough people using that particular tune to end up generating some sort of revenue. So like, what's 1% of Universal? A couple of $100 million
Probably.
Yeah,
I
but
don't.
that divided by 10,000 artists at the low level is a lot of money for them individually.
Yeah, that's fair. That they're
It's
getting.
a simple way of thinking about it, but it's you could look at the bright side as well.
Yeah, then it will just come down to branding at the end of the day and just trying to build your brand and build who you are.
Well, how do you get your song? Like, how would you, if you're an artist right now and I listen to a lot of lo-fi. What if you just wanted to have release like 10 simple lo-fi songs? How do you market that? In order to get people on TikTok aware of it? Because when you go to add like you've been adding audio and music into podcast clips for this show, when you're looking for a song, there's unlimited songs on there. So how do you market, if you're a new artist, how do you get your song in front of people's faces?
Probably you'd be treating yourself not like a business but like a brand, like approaching like influencers and things to use your song as part of their background. So just say like you're making lo-fi music, approaching someone that does like work with me's or like the cleaning videos or things like that, and then be like, hey, you got to use my song in the background, or I don't know, just maybe approaching those influencers to use your songs.
Like kind of my point is the marketing has to go way beyond TikTok, has to be across all social media.
Oh, of course. Yeah, you have to be on all the platforms, touring, just like getting your name out there constantly. It would be a grind. It's like a business, right? Like it's a creativity business.
Yeah, it shouldn't have to be though. We've talked about the artist's way and things and creative act and everything like that. It shouldn't have to be a business. Again, there is some element of that, but the more down that road you go means the less of that creative influence and whatever, like the creativeness in the actual art is lost because you're starting to think about the audience, the revenue, the income, the marketing takes away from the art itself.
Yeah, maybe that's why they sign to record deals or record labels, is because they handle all that marketing
and
for
distribution,
you.
Of course.
Yeah, so you don't have to worry about it. You can just be an artist. But again, you get less of a cut. So do you kind of like do everything yourself, make your own team, so you get more of the revenue?
It sounds like a grind, and you just want to go back into the studio and make more music.
Yeah, I guess it depends what you want to do. What are you looking at?
I'm looking for more articles that give us a random perspective.
Entertainment layoffs.
So, okay. So, Universal, so no more Drake on TikTok, apparently.
No more passion. What's the passion fruit song?
The song's like 7 years old.
I know. It's such a good song, though. It makes you want to dance.
What are the lyrics? How does it go?
No idea. I just know it's just fun.
You know how it goes. You're getting shy.
No. Like, as soon as you said, how does it go? I'm like, I just kept thinking of like the cell phone song. Call me on my cell phone. That's really old. You're
going to get us copyright striked. Jesus.
I doubt it.
Pitch perfect. Oh, well, that's interesting. I mean, we don't really use TikTok. I don't consume on there. The only stuff I really look for on there is recipes.
That's fair.
Because there's lots on Instagram, but I feel like the people on Instagram doing recipe reels, they're of a higher quality, whereas on TikTok, it's every Tom, Dick, and Harry's on there.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Like I've seen it. The ones on Instagram Reels, like it's like the dopest camera. Like all the colors are like popping. It's got like the slow angles and slow mo and stuff. And the ones on TikTok are just like people just like chilling and making
throwing
food.
A potato in the microwave.
There's like this Southern lady that I love, and she's just like
Southern lady.
Yeah, she's like she's like Southern, like Texan or something like that. And she's like, it's just like making things with like love and stuff. It's just like she's just like making cookies and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, she's just like.
What do you mean? Like her enthusiasm and her demeanor is like loving, or she's like,
yes,
I'm throw a little teaspoon of love in this. That's her like her catchphrase.
No. It's just demeanor and stuff is loving. Like she's like
she got some not summer loving, southern loving.
Southern loving. But yeah, she's just like a sweetheart. Like she's just making like food for like her husband and stuff. But it's just like he's like, now you put a cup of sugar. Like it's just really cute. I can't do accents. It's fine.
Southern lovin', but like southern, like SUVIN.
No.
Southern.
No.
That's the Aussie way of saying it.
Southern.
Southern.
No one in Australia says southern.
Don't they?
No, southern.
Southern.
So SUTHEN. Southern.
ERN.
Southern.
We both need to go. We need to both go back. We need to do Billy Madison.
What do you mean, Billy Madison?
Billy Madison.
Oh, so I'll go back to school.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll start from year 1 again.
Yeah.
Learn the basic linguistics of it.
This is such a funny movie.
But he had to go back to school to get his inheritance, right? Because he had to finish school.
Yeah.
And then everybody was helping him, obviously, get through it. And then he caught the hearts of everybody.
And he had to go. Basically, what was the final contest? He had to do
Like he did like a Shakespeare.
It's like a whole marathon of like arithmetic and like
Mm-hmm.
mathematics and like literature and sports.
Yeah.
And like it was basically like the Olympics to beat this guy to win the inheritance because one of the dad's friends was going to give it to. Well, the dad was going to give it to like one of his friends or something.
Yes, like the other dude. It's like the academic like decathlon or whatever it is. Yeah.
Such a funny movie.
And then it wasn't safe. He did like a Hamlet thing at the end with like the skull and stuff.
Remember I showed you this scene? You can't remember it?
No, I couldn't. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? And then what was the thing? What was it called?
It was in the bath and he's having a battle between shampoo and conditioner.
You were like, I'm like, I have no idea. And like, as soon as you showed me, I was like, I do not remember this scene whatsoever.
Conditioner leaves your hair silky and smooth. Shampoo is better. Then he just looks up at this. So dumb.
Oh,
Stop
man.
looking at me, Schwan. That's my favorite line. All right,
That's the
we're
one.
and peeing your pants is cool. Plenty of good one-liners.
Yes.
All right, that's. I don't know if I'd ever watch it again though.
No.
It's one of those ones that's kind of seen its better days.
I think, well, I prefer Happy Madison. No.
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore, thank you. I prefer Happy Gilmore over Billy Madison, the golf one. Maybe because he's just like playing an adult, where this one he's like just doing his classic Adam Sandler kind of.
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy's
Where do
good.
you rank Big Daddy in there?
Oof.
Or
Little Nicky.
Little Nicky is horrible. There was one more.
What's the one where he's like the billionaire?
Waterboy.
Oh, Waterboy is a classic. Waterboy is pretty good.
Billionaire. Oh, Mr. Deeds. There's actually so many movies from that era. Mr. Deeds is funny.
Yeah.
Waterboy. Little Nicky's at the bottom of that list.
50 First Dates? No, Wedding Singer. That's it. Wedding Singer is my favorite.
That's good.
Yeah, it is a good one. Drew Barrymore, classic couple.
All right. Yeah. So we should go back and test our skills because I reckon it's the same as that show. Are you smarter than a fifth grader?
Oh, yeah.
These
Some of those
days,
fifth graders are pretty smart.
These days, kids will be like, ChatGPT ain't got shit on me. Are
No.
you smarter than at what level are you smarter? Fifth, sixth,
It
seventh
depends,
grade?
right? Because it's like I might know more stuff in some particular areas, but they might have just like because you have kids that like get obsessed with things, right? There might be a kid that's like
It's called
obsessed with like
that's autism.
not necessarily. You have kids that get like obsessed with like cars, or they get obsessed with like dinosaurs and stuff, and they can name every single like trucks. Yeah.
My next door neighbor was obsessed with the tip truck.
Yeah, so you might know have these kids. So my friend, she's an engineer and stuff, so they work a lot around like construction sites and stuff. And her son can like name a whole bunch of different types of trucks and excavators and all that kind of stuff. Like knows the name, like the particular names of them.
Very useful skills for when you're an adult.
Yeah. But it's like this, but there might be a kid that knows every single like fossilized whatever it is. So if you have an archaeological question, this kid will be like, I know it, but then they'll ask like, what's 5 times 2, and they'll be like, I have no idea.
So crazy. I suppose they do get kind of not obsessed, but they kind of fixate on things on one particular area for a while, and they grow out of it fast though.
Yeah,
it's like next summer they're just not into any of it. Like
I have another girlfriend whose kids absolutely like into like animals and stuff. Loves like the zoo is like their absolute favorite place to go. And another one loves gardening, loves being amongst the flowers, loves getting like a little spade and helping with the gardening and stuff. But again, I think it just depends. Like those parents are always out in their garden like making stuff or whatever it is. So the kids just like obviously they mimic, right? They mimic their parents and everything. But yeah, kids can just get obsessed over one particular thing and just can't stop talking about it.
Well, it can go the other way. You could be living in a trailer park and your parents are drug addicts.
Yeah.
And then that's a hard place to get out. You don't mimic it necessarily, but you grow up thinking that's kind of normal to a degree.
Yes, or it's like an example of what not to do.
Yeah.
Were you ever obsessed as anything as a kid? Like, can you remember anything that you were like, I know everything about this?
Not really. No.
No, because like I think my younger brother loved like Action Men and like Power Rangers and stuff.
So you need to have money to be able to either afford toys or afford to go to the zoo or to like you need to first of all have money to allow an obsession to exist. And not that we were like broke poor, but like we just buying things wasn't like a big thing.
Yeah.
So don't know. Downloading video games.
You knew everything about
getting
video
my
games and
PS1
stuff?
chipped out and then just getting free games. Sarah's distracted on her phone. Which
Sorry,
is a
I'm
big
just
no-no.
making sure it's the dog walker because they're out at the moment. I don't have their number.
Is everything okay? There's no
I
issues?
think so. I'm trying to look into my phone, but the microphone's covering up my face. And I
I
can't
wasn't
do Face
obsessed with
ID.
anything. I'm probably obsessed with.
No, it's just a message from Pet Barn telling me something's on sale. It's fine.
We need a no phone rule.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, mine's face
down. That's true. I guess it was important they'd call, right? You okay?
You're just stressing me out a little bit today.
Sorry. I'm trying with the articles and stuff. My bad.
Get Billy Madison off the screen. No obsession. So what was your obsession? Dancing.
Yeah, I used to dance heaps as a kid, but I used to love musicals and stuff. So I used to be able to quote like Shirley Temple movies and sing. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you laugh. So Shirley Temple movies and like songs
quote
and
the
stuff.
movies, or like quote the titles of the movie, or quote the actual dialogue in the movie.
I'd be able to quote the titles of the movies and then sing the songs in the movies.
All right, hit me, because you didn't. I asked you for passion fruit, and I asked you for
lollipop in the
Everyone knows that one.
I can't remember the other ones. It's fine. I'll have to rewatch it and I'll probably be able to sing along. Like Singing in the Rain, I remember.
That's, you have to do it in your own time, because I'm not sacrificing my date night for Shirley Temple.
That's fair. But yeah, I was obsessed with like musicals and stuff. And then, yeah, I think that was about it. I used to have, because like toys and stuff don't count. No, that's probably, I'd say musicals is like my thing.
Well, I've been with you for 7 years this year, and I've never watched a musical with you.
Because you don't like musicals.
You don't like tennis, and I still watch tennis.
Yeah. Do you want to watch musicals with me?
I don't want to, but I'll. If it brings you some joy.
I do enjoy them. So like Singing in the Rain.
Will it bring you joy if I'm there in the same room as it?
Not necessarily.
Right,
I'm not going to like torture you to it. Musicals is a very kind of like, not particular, but you have to be into them. You either love them or you hate them. There's not really any of that middle ground.
Well, the new
Wonka?
Willy Wonka looked interesting.
That's a musical.
I know. That's why I referenced it.
Yeah.
Maybe we can watch that. Maybe it's on YouTube Movies.
Oh, that'll be cool because it's in the cinemas.
It's been out for a little while now.
It has, yeah. Got June coming out in the next couple of months.
Yep. Keep going.
I don't know what else is coming out in the next couple of months, but that's definitely on the bucket list to watch. We've got a good
Okay, you're using the term bucket list very loosely here.
Sorry, it's
bucket
on the
list
it's on the watch list. Sorry, my bad. It's on the watch list. The bucket list is kind of for
I've only got 6 months to live. Got to make sure I go see June. Far out.
If I had 6 months, that probably wouldn't make the cut.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes. Fair enough. It's in YouTube Movies? Probably not yet, right? If it's still in the cinemas, it won't be. Drew's currently Googling.
Hey, I didn't give you the signal. You don't have to bring it up on TV. Yeah, Willy Wonka I'll watch with you. Love me some Chalamet, and there's some good actors in that one as well.
That'd be cute.
So what's going on with you? You're editing a video this week or what? What are we doing?
Yes, I am. So I'm trying to get over my bloody creative blocks and just like my resistance and stuff. So I wanted to release...
Good name, Bloody Creative Blocks. Like you could be a creative marketing agency. Bloody Creative.
Bloody Creative. It's very Aussie. Bloody Creative. Sounds like a bloody hell.
Whether bloody hell, yeah, it's already been used. Yeah. Carry on. Sorry, I'm interrupting a lot today.
It's fine. We're both kind of we both didn't sleep well last night. We're both tired, and that's fine. So, so I wanted to release a video by the end of January, but it's now Feb 2nd. So I need to have a video up by the end of the weekend. Why are you shutting that down?
I'm getting distracted by it. I'm trying to give you all my attention.
Oh, thank you. So by as of this recording, it's a Friday. The podcast episode comes out on the Monday. So hopefully the day before I would have a video out, because Sunday is like the last day I'm going to have it out. But actually, this is pretty interesting, right? So I had a video there already that I was kind of like starting to edit. It was just like I made a cake and I was just kind of like practicing filming it and sort of, because I love baking and just want to get a little bit more into that and sort of document, I guess, getting better at baking and making things taste like shit, essentially.
Bloody creative baking.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
PCB.
But I was kind of doing it, and I think I must have just been like sighing, whatever it is. And Drew comes like, "What's up?" And I'm like, I'm not really enjoying this. And he's like, "Then what are you doing?" So it sort of got to that thing of like me editing, and I just realized I was not enjoying it. I was delaying it essentially, and just like kept my ear got itchy. Kept delaying it and putting it off. So like for the whole month of December, I had this video sitting there. I knew I could have edited it, and I kind of like just let everything else get in the way before I even just opened up Premiere to like even start editing. And then it wasn't until kind of that conversation being like, well, if you're not enjoying it, just forget about it. And I kind of was just, I think I was just being, no, not think, but I was just being stubborn about it, being like, well, I've got the footage there. I spent the time like recording it. I said I was going to like make it and put it out, so I'm gonna like try and determine to do it, but it was not enjoyable. Like, didn't get the angles right. I mean, it was a good learning experience and figuring out what to kind of, I guess, like snapshot while I was cooking and everything, but like while I was editing it, I just kept thinking like, should have done this, should have done that, like I don't like the way this looks. took too long. Yeah, I just wasn't enjoying it. So then I've just decided to discard it and then pop onto the next video, which I was going to do, which is something I'm a little bit more excited about, which is going through the Vietnam footage and scrapbooking, I guess, the time that was there, because I've kept a lot of like receipts and ticket stubs and pamphlets and all that kind of thing. And I've journaled a little bit while I was over there as well. So I kind of just want to put it into a book with like the Instax photos and stuff I took. And
So
yeah.
why? This is what, like, I don't understand why you got to try and force something to exist.
I think I was just being stubborn, right? I just didn't want it to go to waste, I think. And like, if
But you got to, like, I've been through this so many times as well. Like, I'm not perfect. I'm just giving my advice from the way I feel about things and of the struggles that I've gone through and what got me sort of out of that mindset. It's like, it's not even stubborn. The main thing is you don't want to. What are you checking?
that's fine.
The gears, it's all
Oh,
recording.
that's all
fine.
good. I just had a moment.
You can't force it to. You can force something to exist, but it never is good for yourself. You never feel rewarded by forcing something, and then it comes across immediately to the viewer or the person on the receiving end as like it just feels like something's off, like the planet's out of alignment, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, if you're not enjoying it, people can see that.
But like, what's worse, losing the footage or wasting your time working on footage that's you're not feeling, you're not into? There's nothing wrong with not feeling into it. It's actually, this is what I was saying to you, it's making videos. It doesn't require courage. Like, it does a little bit. You've got to overcome like some fear or
it's putting yourself out there on the
putting
internet.
yourself out there and just being afraid, not afraid to like make a few mistakes, look a little bit silly or whatever. But basically, you need to have courage to do the thing, but you need to have courage to know when to pull the pin on things. You got to know when to hold and know when to fold. Poker term. And you're just like holding, trying to force yourself to win that hand of poker instead of being like, this hand ain't no good. I'm gonna wait, put it down, let someone else win this round, even though there's like no one else to win, but just using the poker metaphor, and like, I'll wait till the next one and then see how that hand is. Okay, I'm feeling this one. I'm going to hold it, going to work on it. Instead, you're just like forcing something to exist is never good for yourself. You're like, it's not going to ever feel rewarding.
No, not at all. And I think, and I just sort of wish I came to that realization earlier, because I probably would have had this Vietnam video out by now if I realized like mid-December, I'd be like, oh, I don't want to edit this. This is why I'm procrastinating on it. This is why I'm like doing everything else possible instead of just like opening up and finishing off, because I kind of like started it and then I sort of just left it and just never came back to it.
Yeah, no, you're kind of beating yourself up because you didn't do that first.
Yes.
So everywhere you turn, you've kind of letting yourself down and disappointing yourself because there was a better option. You just haven't moved to that immediately as your first point of call. You're kind of just skirting around the edges.
Yeah. And I should have known that, because when I released the wardrobe video, I released like another kind of little video after that, but that was like the first half of the wardrobe video. But then I realized editing, I'm like, this is two separate videos, so I kind of cut it. Like, I wasn't really enjoying that first part, but so I focused on doing the wardrobe one first, and I really enjoyed that kind of one. And then after doing that one, I didn't mind that first part again, so I released it as like a little video. But I should have learned that from a learning experience, because I thought it might have been the same thing. So I tried to push through the cooking one, or the baking one, sorry. But none of that being like, you know what, oh, this is not too bad. I just never felt that feeling. I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like the way this looks.
You're a try. So what was it about the cooking one you didn't like? Was it the recipe? Was it you like baking, but you don't want to film that? You don't like the editing? You just don't like how it looked? You don't like a combination of all of those things? Or you feel like you can give more value in a different realm?
I just didn't like the way that it looked and the way that I kind of shot it, because I've never made like a baking sort of cooking one before. We made a raspberry. Yeah. Anyway,
years ago.
But like there was like some parts where I thought I was recording, but I wasn't recording, so I missed like parts like cracking the egg, just like little things like that would have like elevated or just added that little bit extra to the video. And just like the angles that I chose wasn't right. Like it wasn't zoomed in enough. Like it was too wide.
You can edit that and you can fix that.
Yeah, but because I filmed it on my phone, like when I did zoom in, like it wasn't high quality because it wasn't filmed in 4K.
You're falling into perfectionism.
No, because it wasn't filmed in 4K and stuff. So like,
you go onto YouTube, there's videos of cooking that are in 720p.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but like while I was doing it and just like the way I just didn't enjoy the editing process. And if I'm not enjoying the editing process, then I'm just going to procrastinate on it further.
Did you enjoy the filming process?
It was a bit stressful.
Okay, straight away, I don't even know why we're having this conversation or why it's an entertaining thought, because
it was forced. Because I think
that was forced,
Yeah.
How was the actual editing ever going to feel natural and get like really? It's like, does this project allow me to get into a flow state? Because when I'm in flow state, and this applies to everybody, whether you're doing pottery or racing a car or whatever, once I'm in flow state, I'm more than myself. I get to step outside of like the conscious mind spinning around, wondering, am I good enough? How am I being perceived? Expectations. As soon as you're into flow state, all that stuff sort of dissipates into the background and you can just lock in. So I don't know how, if the video was kind of stressful to film, it's ever going to possibly, during the editing process, allow you to get into a flow state to create the thing that was in your mind. So it's like, just throw it in the bin and move on.
Yeah, and I have. So, yeah, and just like I use like butter instead of coconut oil, which I always use. It was just like all these little things of just like I'm putting this recipe out there and I'm not super happy with this, like the like what I used kind of for it. Like it was a tasty cake.
So you're saying it was stressful, but was it capturing something on an SD card that was stressful?
No, I used my phone. And I think the fact that I made it like with an intention of do like voiceover later, because I was just trying to do like an easy film because I didn't have anything coming out. So I think I was just doing it for the sake of doing it. Next time when I make a cooking one, because I still want to do them because I love baking and stuff, I think it's just going to be more speaking to the camera because that's how I feel a bit more natural.
So it wasn't the technical side of things, it was the preparatory side of things.
Yes, yeah. Like I had the recipe and stuff there. I've made it a few times, knew what I was doing. But I think just the actual filming side of it, I wasn't really prepared to film it. Yeah, so I wasn't super stoked with it.
Okay.
Yeah, so now I'm working on the Vietnam one. I'm going to have it out in a few days. Determined.
All right. Well,
and I appreciate
I hate
you
to quote
because
very Gary Vee all the time, but literally at this level, like there's so many things slowing us down, holding us back, whatever it is. The document over create mindset is really the best thing to just take the pressure off yourself and just like get shit done and not overthink it. It's like you can create the perfect recipe and think about all the shots before and after, or you can just capture what you're doing and then chop it out later. And I don't know. It's what I was saying yesterday. It's you can have a master plan and a strategy for what you want to do, but that might not work when you're at ground zero, when you haven't done a video in so long and you have a plan and a strategy. I want to do this in the video and release it at this consistent rate. When you've done nothing for so long, you've been on self-enforced hiatus, which I've done plenty of times, and like we all kind of do. That strategy might not work at ground zero. It might be a great strategy to have, but only once you're rolling 6 or 12 months down the track and you've got a bit of momentum behind you, then you can start to implement this really real masterful strategy that you've been developing and thinking and building on in the background. But like just to start, it's just, I used the analogy yesterday of like a race is like you can sit there and warm up your muscles and stretch for 6 months if you want to, but you still have to, the first foot across that starting line is really the only thing you should be focused about. And then once you're moving, staying healthy, staying hydrated, keeping like good inputs coming into your life to like stay in the game, stay in the race for as long as possible. So Sarah said she's going to get her Vietnam video out, and I can't film. I only have a limited amount of footage because I was laid up with the C-19 for a good week.
Yes.
So I'm relying. I mean, I've done a Vietnam video on my channel. I'm relying on you to do yours.
Yeah.
So I have something to look back on.
Exactly. And I'm making like a scrapbook kind of thing. So a nice little like physical like memento to hold on to. But I appreciate you because obviously we bounce ideas off each other. We use each other as a sounding board. So if you didn't come through while I was trying to like just be frustrated while I was editing that video, I might have just still been kind of like procrastinating and not even have touched the Vietnam one. So I appreciate you.
Me banging my head on the wall so many times after so many months or so many years. You're like, I don't like how that wound looks. I don't want that split head like you've got. So I'm like, I've been banging my head the whole time. No. And speaking to a wall a lot of the time as well.
Hey.
Brick wall's my best friend.
Maybe. No, but we just use each other as a sounding board, so that's good. So if any of you are stuck, if any of you kind of
I honestly think everyone's stuck.
Yeah, well, if you feel like you have like but if you got resistance or you're procrastinating and you like there actually should be something you'd be doing, but you're doing literally anything else instead of doing that main thing that you should be doing, bounce your ideas off someone, just hear someone else, like, I guess their opinion or just their advice or whatever it is. Or if you hopefully you have someone in your life that can just be like, yo, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I don't think many people have that, to be honest.
No. Just like telling you that's a bad idea or a good idea or whatever it is. But
everyone's got their own dramas going on. To at the end of the day, to be in a place where you have fear or anxiety or resistance to create something that will bring you joy and make you feel a little bit alive and get you into a flow state, to have the ability to be in a fortunate enough position to even have that ability to create something for the world, and then be limited in doing it because of some internal resistance, it basically means you're one of the few that has endless opportunities. You should realize everything is at your disposal if you want it. So the last thing you should be doing is having that level of resistance. If that makes sense. If there's people out there that are starving, don't have fresh water, that sort of thing, and they're just worried about surviving. We're out here eating good, living good, electricity, running water, and we're worried about, does the scene look good? Does the fucking recipe look good?
Yeah, like retrospect just being, I don't know, like, we're very lucky and very privileged to like have what we have. And like you've been saying all week, no one's telling you to do what you hate. So just do what you love.
Everywhere you look, all the experts, all the people that are successful in their own fields and their own rights, they all basically have the same idea and the same philosophy and mindset when they get there is do what makes you happy, be yourself, all that sort of stuff. Follow your passion. There's literally 0 people online that are saying you have to do what you hate to survive and to succeed. There's no one doing it. But that for some reason, there's part of us that feels like it needs to be harder or more complex than it actually is. Shit is simple. Get to action.
Yeah.
And this is a talk to myself just as much as to you and to the listeners. So wrap it up there. Dog is going crazy. And we'll see you guys next week. Thanks, Sue.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.